Hi, I'm Susan and welcome to my acorn tutorial. Today we're going to make these little acorns. They go perfect with the pumpkins for an autumn little harvest necklace or bracelet. You can make them in all sorts of fall colors and they're a perfect complement to many things. You don't have to make them as large as these. You could make smaller ones like I've made here, or you can make the little squattier ones like are in here that are a little darker. As long as they're in some fall colors and they've got some pearlescent to them and they're kind of natural looking, they'll look great in your pieces. So let's get started. So to get the different color breakdowns, I use mostly gold as a base. I'm adding a little red here with a little black so I can get that brownish color. I'm adding the green and the purple and the red once again. And when I come back, you'll see how these mixes change completely. So I had to add a little bit more purple and a little more black, but this gives you a gist of the idea of how I get these colors, and you'll really appreciate the pearl that you get when you mix it with the gold, because it really makes your beads have that special look to them. So it definitely is worth the time to mix the gold in with your colors and just add a hint of the color. So after mixing my gold clay with the tints, I added a little bit more purple and a little bit more black to this one just to get them a little deeper. I like these fall kind of colors. You don't have to make these colors. I'm just showing you what I use. I basically take a 3/4 inch circle cutter and I will cut a circle out of each of these and create a teardrop. And the teardrop shape is going to be the base of my acorn. So you're basically, like the pumpkins, going to just squish it up, and it's really not important that you get the irregularities from the pearl sticking out. That's fine. It's that you get any of the creases in the clay blended well. So you're just going to roll it out, and I don't have any coming here. So I'm basically making a ball and then forming a teardrop. Now, once I get a teardrop, you can do it with all these colors. You'll see I've already done that here. Kind of boring to watch me do it. I then add the caps. Now, the caps can be done two different ways. I roll them out on a number 3 on the pasta machine, and this is a 1/2 inch cutter. Now, whatever size cutters you have, make it work. If you don't have cutters, try a large straw, make your acorns a little smaller. It doesn't mean you can't do it, it just means you do it a different way. And so basically these have been sitting a little bit so they're not so squishy. I am just going to take my little cutter piece, and I like to flatten out the edges, because when the edges have this little bend in them from the cutter, it kind of shows. And see, there's a little spot where the cutter is not a plastic cutter, so you can see where it meets up. And so I'm just going to put my acorn piece right in the center and push the hat down. Now this is where I do like my little toothpick tool, and you could do it with a toothpick without the handle on it. It's just easier to have a handle on your toothpick, and so I basically just make the little creases around the acorn cap with this. Now if you want more details, you can add little dots and make little designs. I do a lot of acorns, so I find that if I do too much of that, it'll make me insane. But if you like to have little dots, use this as a needle dotter tool and just continue to make a design around the top. So you have that. Now, because I didn't put any highlight on this clay, I'm going to just take some gold eyeshadow. I got this in the dollar store. You can get any kind of brand. You can use Pearl X, whatever. I am just adding a little highlight. And I like to do this after I put my folds and details in, just so that the crevices don't get the highlight, the powder in it. It just stands out on the top, and it just gives more texture, more definition. And that's it. Now I will skewer this bead from the top to the bottom, and you can always drill a hole in it later, but you don't really necessarily need to. And does it want to focus? No, it wants to focus on these beads. And there you go. You can see how we have that with your little acorn top. Now, there's another way I like to do the tops. If you happen to have some gold leaf, I put this out on a number 1 on the pasta machine, put the gold leaf on it, and then I ran it through on a number 2 in one direction, number 3 in the other direction. So I got these beautiful crackles. I want these crackles. It gives a much nicer effect. And I'm once again just going to cut it and round out these edges. You can really see how these edges are a little sloppy, and just rounding them out with your finger really does make a difference here. It's the little details that matter. You don't need these to be perfect. Nature isn't perfect, but it's the details that make them look prettier. And so we're just going to put this right on the top in the center and push it down the same. Just push it down on all the sides. And this one I definitely don't want to dot because I don't want to lose any of my beautiful gold leaves. So I am just going to take my toothpick tool and just press around it. And this is where having a handle just makes it easier to work with. It's not that you can't use it, it's just sometimes it's easier to grab things. And there you go. And now I'm just going to skewer this once again through the top. Now I will bake these on a piece of t-shirt in the oven for 30 minutes from cool oven to cool oven, and then I will glaze them. So I will come back when I get these all made and show you how beautiful they look when So I'm all finished baking these beads and glazing them, and you can see the ones that have the gold leaf on them are not that much different than the ones that just have the eyeshadow on them. So it's just a different texture. It doesn't really matter. Whatever you have, make it work. If you have both, you can use both. I just like to show you the differences, but just have some fun building your bead stash and trying something new. So hopefully you have fun making some acorns, and thanks a lot for watching.